People look at my About page the most out of anything on my site, which is great because that's what I want them to see, because then they'll think about me and remember me when things come up.
You're listening to Thrive by Design, business, marketing, and lifestyle strategies for your jewelry brand to flourish and thrive. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Thrive by Design podcast, episode number 124. Hey there, it's Tracy Matthews, the Chief Visionary Officer over at Flourish and Thrive Academy, and your host today for Thrive by Design. And of course, I'm thrilled to be here today to talk a lot about awesome people. So I am really excited because I have a special guest on the show. She is a member of our community, one of our mastermind students for 2017, and an all-around kick-ass designer who first actually found out about Flourish and Thrive Academy at our live event in 2017. She ended up joining our mastermind program. We ended up working with her this year, and man, she has some great success to kind of show for it. Not just being in our mastermind, but because she is such an action taker. Like, the girl takes action and moves forward towards her dreams. And it's so fun to watch this because when I see action takers who are able to really make change super quickly, I just know they're going to be successful, like highly, highly successful. So this is fun. So today I have a very special guest, Kristen Baird-Rabun of KristenBaird.com. She is the Halstead Grant winner for 2017. Also a Flourish and Thrive Academy member of our mastermind program and one of the community members over at Flourish and Thrive. So here's what I love. So, years back when I had this idea for Flourish and Thrive, I had already worked with some business mentors. I saw the success and results that people have when they take a course and implement what they've learned, or they join a coaching program and get feedback right away and are able to take action with that feedback and move it forward, or join a mastermind program where they're getting support from not only mentors, but also their peers, and move the needle forward so quickly. I've done this in my own life, and it's really had amazing success and results in my business. So I love it when the designers who come and join our community and join our coaching programs and our mastermind programs, when they have success like this and they are able to really make huge change so quickly. So I'm just blown away by Kristen because, long story short, I kind of share this in the interview, but as I mentioned, she's in our mastermind. She also won the Halstead Grant this year. She had her eye on the prize. She really wanted to win. She was a runner-up last year. And so she knew the feedback that Halstead gave her and the feedback we've been giving her all year about what needed to happen in order for her to sort of achieve this big goal of hers, win this $7,500 and be able to use that money to invest in her business growth. And one of the things that she got feedback on was her website. So she came to me and asked me for a website review. She's gotten feedback from other people too, so I can't take full credit, but I do love doing website reviews. And we had a website review, and literally what seemed to me like a month later, she was asking for another review. And I was kind of like, Robin, I think there's a mistake here because I have this task assigned to me again. And Kristen asked me to look at her website. Am I looking at something old? And she's like, no, she's made some changes. She wants to look at them. Man, oh boy, I don't even say those phrases. I don't know why I just said them, but it was like night and day what she had done on a very small budget. Within a couple of months, it was like a complete website evolution. So the reason why I wanted to have Kristen on the show today was to show you that you don't need a lot of money. You just need the right feedback and the willingness to take action to move things forward. So yeah, she did invest in a program like our mastermind. We have another program that we are still accepting designers into that's starting January 1st, 2018, called the SOS Accelerator. And programs like that will help you move the needle a lot quicker. But I also want to show you that if you are willing, you can get results really fast. So Kristen's going to walk us through what she did to sort of get to that next level. And part of that was being able to identify where her gaps were and where the gaps were sort of in the design and flow with her website. She was launching a fine jewelry line and she wanted the website to look really luxurious and to really highlight her talent and skill set as a designer. But the way the setup was before just seemed really clunky. It seemed a little old school. It seemed like she was just starting out a little bit more. And even though she had or has a really high level of design, the website wasn't really doing her jewelry justice. It was cluttered and the user experience wasn't that great. Now when you land on it, you know exactly what to do and it's amazing. So I'm going to jump into that interview in just a moment. But before I do, I wanted to take a word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is ninadesigns.com. Nina Designs is an amazing resource for all of you who are looking for wholesale findings, wholesale supplies, charms, beads, jewelry making supplies. It is just a really wonderful resource. They just launched and branded a new website that really tells the story of what the company is all about. And it's a company that's designed by a maker for makers. So make sure you check out ninadesigns.com, their brand new website. They have some really amazing new nature-inspired collections for you to check out, and head on over and join what all the fun's in about. So here it is again, ninadesigns.com. And, they've really done a lot to rebrand their website to make the user experience even more awesome for you. We're going to jump right in with Kristen momentarily, but I wanted to just tell you a little bit more about who Kristen is. Her jewelry has been featured in Savannah Magazine, Paprika, Southern, Virginia Living, Charleston Magazine, Borrowed and Blue, Savannah Weddings, and many, many more. Kristen Baird has an amazing design aesthetic. She went to SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, and she was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. And she planted her roots in Savannah after she graduated and has never looked back. As I mentioned earlier, she is just so grateful to have won the Halstead Grant for 2017, and she was a runner-up also in 2016. You can check her out over at KristenBaird.com. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Well, today I have a super special guest. I love having members of our community on the Thrive by Design podcast. And today I have one of our mastermind members, Kristen Baird-Rabun, on the show today. And Kristen, welcome.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Exciting to have you. So I'm really excited to have Kristen on the show today for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, we're going to have a big reveal later. Well, we've already done the big reveal, but this episode is being recorded and it won't air for a little while. But Kristen won a really amazing award, which we're going to announce. But also, she had this crazy, really quick, like overnight website makeover thing happen. And I really wanted to share some of the things that she did and how she was able to kind of move the needle forward in such a short period of time. So I thought this would be a fun show today to kind of talk about how you can make big changes in your website, increase, your conversions, and start to attract more traffic to your site with just a few little tweaks. And Kristen's going to walk us through those. Kristen, thanks so much for being here. I'm excited to talk to you again.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here and excited to share. So
Kristen walked us through all of this at our live event, Flourish and Thrive Live in September, and it was super fun. So before I kind of dive into some questions I have for you, Kristen, why don't you tell us a little bit about your jewelry brand and how you got started in the industry and sort of what was going on with your website?
Sure. Yeah. So I started my business in 2015. I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design, and through a roundabout way, through going through interior design and architecture, I found my way to jewelry. So I had this whole passion and a drive to be an entrepreneur. And pretty much in 2015, I went into business, and it's been crazy since then. But from the beginning, it's been all about presentation. Which is websites. So I have this year really dedicated myself to that. And I think we'll probably tell you some more details in a second. So
yeah, I love it. So Kristen, your website is KristenBaird.com.
Yep.
Yes,
.com.
KristenBaird.com, and Baird is BAIRD. And we'll also have that in the show notes as well. So you were in the mastermind this year, and you found out about our mastermind by just coming to our live event the previous year, which I thought was so fun because you were a runner-up for the Halstead Grant that year, and you'd heard from Hillary Halstead Scott about our live event, and you just showed up, not even knowing about Flourish and Thrive Academy. And at that event, you found out about our mastermind and have joined the program, and you had a really big goal this year, and that was to win. Why don't you tell people?
Yeah. So that has been my goal, like my mantra for the past 12 months was to win the Halstead Grant this year. So I did really well in 2016 and got great feedback. So as a plug for them, everybody should apply if you qualify because it is an amazing opportunity. But yeah, so I took the last 12 months to really work on my grant application, which is basically just working on my business with that in mind. So everything I did was focused on, well, this is going to be great for the grant, but really this is going to be great for my business. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I met Nikki Grandix last weekend, who was the winner from the year before, which was so fun. I sat next to her at dinner. She's very soft-spoken and quiet, had a long conversation with her at a cocktail party. So it was fun. I feel like it's been, within a week, I get to talk to 2 of the Hall State grant winners, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. I hope I can meet her soon too, because that's really cool.
She's super cool, and was wearing the coolest glasses ever, which is, I don't know why, that's a little bit of a sidebar, but whatever. All right. So you've been in our mastermind. And one of the things that I do for people who coach with me is that I really am focused on website, user experience, what the flow through is like. And especially for brands that like yours, Kristen, where you had just launched an 18 karat line and you're selling sort of like a luxurious feeling product. I know before you were doing a lot more silver, but you just launched your fine jewelry line. And it's really important to have a good user experience with your website. So you've gotten feedback not only from me, but from the people at Halstead and from other people in our mastermind community. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what was going on when we first started talking about some of these website changes that we wanted to make?
Yeah. So I had this website through Shopify, which I love. They're a great platform. But I had only kind of done the templates that they give you, which is great. Mm-hmm. It's a good place to start. But as I was moving from silver into golds, it was pretty apparent that I needed a better user experience, a bit more of a luxurious feel, and just to up my game, really. So I started with basically, we had our call and we talked about calls to action and how everything needs to flow really well and different ways to split collections so that it makes sense. It's all really in the organization and in the just layout and the experience. One thing that I was pretty proud of is that I did have really good photos, which you can do a lot with good photos, I'm finding at least.
Yes.
And so it was just making it more of a visual experience and really capitalizing on, every page that people looked at to make sure that it was conveying the brand message. So I've learned a lot about that brand message and, not lingo, but just ways to communicate to your audience. So I guess that was where I really started. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, and it's not just in words or visuals. It's a combination of both.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So thank you for sharing that. And I know this is an audio podcast, which is sort of weird because we should probably be screen sharing. And we aren't screen sharing right now. So if you're cool, can we show some screenshots of the before and after in the podcast post? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll get you some.
Awesome. So if you guys want to see that, if you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, head on over to our episode show notes over at flourishthriveacademy.com/episode 124. And you can check out Kristen's before and after. Because if you go to her website, you'll see the after, but you won't see the before, which is kind of fun to look at. So you were on a Shopify site and you needed some things moved around. I know one of the big things that I noticed on your site is that you had a left side oriented navigation bar. And we decided to move that, or, my feedback was that it looked a little bit old school and a little clunky and kind of squished the real estate on the homepage for showing your designs. So tell us a little bit about how you moved that around and some of the things that you did to make that first impression a little bit more streamlined, maybe is a good way to put it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I did have the left side navigation, which was kind of a pre-construction thing on this template. And it was heavy. It was black. So it was kind of dark. And I didn't really realize that until I got the feedback, which was really good that I got the feedback. So I actually didn't know how to change that because it was a pre-constructed thing. So I found this service, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit, that they helped me to move it to a top-based kind of drop-down menu thing. And it immediately changed the whole look of my site. It's kind of crazy. I did a little Illustrator kind of file to make sure that I could communicate with this outside company how I wanted it to look. And as I was sitting there playing with it, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. This looks so much more fine jewelry, because then my pictures were full width and I was able to do these very clean banners that just hit you when you hit the site, which was great, I thought. And then another one of the things we were talking about was calls to action. So within those banners that were now full width, we were able to create these really precise calls to action, which weren't really viewable before. So in one change, like one big shift changed like so many different things, which I was happy with.
So Kristen's being very vague right now because we have, because
I can tell you all.
Service. Yeah, there's a service that she uses. It's called Hey Carson, and you can check it out by going over to flourishthriveacademy.com/Hey Carson. And tell us a little bit about like what Hey Carson does.
Yes.
Like when you told me about this, I was just like, what? We're trying to get them on the podcast, but I think the owner just had a baby or something. So.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Well, I know they've been very busy. Yeah. I can't wait because I can't say enough good things about Hey Carson. Basically, they're a subscription-based service. As I was trying to figure out how to get these things done, I got different Shopify experts to give quotes, and I saw this thing called Hey Carson. I'm like, what is this? And it's basically a subscription. So you get a month, you pay a flat fee, and you get to make as many changes in that flat fee, which for me...
So explain that. You said as many changes you can do. Let's get more specific. Like one project at a time that is like a small task, right?
Yes.
So give an example of what a small task would be.
Yeah, so a small task would be moving some sort of navigation from one place to another. So maybe you want a button right in the bottom left-hand corner of your site, if that makes sense. If it's not in the template, they can do it for you through their own coding and everything. Okay. So it's, changing sizes of photos so that you get the full width instead of having a sidebar, or moving your navigation, installing different apps. I mean, the possibilities are endless. They help me change my blog layout. It's really cool. And the thing is, you get one task at a time. The turnaround time is 24 hours. They don't work on the weekends. So you can get 10 to 15 tasks in a month. Small tasks, and they'll tell you what they are, but you can get 10 to 15 changes, which I got a different Shopify expert to quote me 3 changes, and that was going to be $900. So
and this service was about $300.
Yeah,
it was $295 or something.
$250 a month.
Okay, $250 a month,
which is crazy. The difference there, and they're great to work with. They just launched a new, what they call Carson Dash. So they have a dashboard where you can submit all your tasks. It's awesome. So enough of me blabbing on.
You're a super fan. I know. So let's talk about some more of the changes you did, because I know that one of the things that I noticed on your site when I was there that I thought was like a good idea in concept, but it wasn't really fleshed out in theory, was how you were presenting your press on your homepage.
Yes.
You had like a big slider with like a bunch of press images that was like kind of overwhelming. So let's talk about that and what you ended up doing with that.
Yeah. So basically I took that off, and I did on my about page, I added a little banner that are all black and white logos. So when somebody's reading about me, they see, as featured in these different publications. So it's a nice little hit. And then also I added a second page on Shopify on kind of on my about me type area. That's my press features. So then you can go there and see a bigger photo of, the different features that had happened. And it's very easy to look at, and you can click to see the actual feature. So it took it from being very collagey and like really overwhelming to being a nice little bar on my about page, and then a nice section on my drop-down menus, which then gives me more flexibility. I can, add things pretty easily without having to do a whole graphic. I can just add these new press features and keep them coming.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then you created a VIP email opt-in. Why don't you talk about that? And what app did you use for that?
Yes. So I used Privy, and I'm using their free subscription feature. I haven't upgraded yet, but basically I got that. Carson helped get that installed for me. And I think it hits about like 5 to 7 seconds. Once you hit the site, it'll pop up and ask you to, put your email address in if you want to join the VIP club. And that's gotten a really great response. I didn't have that before, and I got no email signups through my little thing on the bottom of my site at 0.
I got exactly 0.
Like I literally got none. And so then adding this, it's been popping up and people have seen it. And I think it's gotten like, I don't know how many numbers right off the top of my head, but it's had, over 2,000 views. So,
that's great. You can see the views on that thing.
Yeah. You can track analytics on it, see how many people are viewing, see how many people are clicking. Yeah. It's super pretty cool. It's really cool. They have like super in-depth tools as well under their, more enhanced features. But for their free one to start out with, it's great. You can design the look of it. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Amazing. Amazing. Yep. Okay. So let's talk about some of the changes that you did on your blog.
Yes. So the blog, it didn't have any photos on the front page. So you pulled up my blog and it was a bunch of text, which nobody wants to look at text. I mean, for real. So we actually pulled in where it will show a photo and maybe like one little title caption and one little line. We took off all the tags and we took off all the dates and who posted it, because it's going to be either me or my team and it's going to be on the date it's posted, like no big deal. So we didn't need to see that. So I had them basically reconfigure it. So you get a nice photo, you get kind of the gist of what's going on. You click and it's more full screen so you can see what's happening, and it's more visual now, which I like, and just more easy to access. So that's been a big change. I've gotten a lot more blog viewership and more comments now, which is even better.
I love it. Okay, so tell us about your shopping cart. What'd you do there?
Yes. So on the product pages, when you first used to click on them, you would see like the photo of the piece and then you would see the title, but there was this weird like gap space where you wouldn't see anything, which was lost real estate, because when you land on the page, you need to see the details, the descriptions, everything right there. So we reconfigured it to be a bit more concise and more compact, I guess.
Okay.
And now when you land on the page, you can see a lot more of the details without having to scroll. Also for the mobile version. So they work on the kind of web version, but they also can work on the mobile version, which is important to keep in mind.
Okay, so, and by they, you mean hey cursors?
Yes, exactly, not me.
Like MBA.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about what you did to the footer of your site. You made so many changes in like 2 months. It's like crazy to me.
It was a little crazy.
I was just like with a website review. I was like, this is the reason why I was so blown away. She's like, hey, Tracy, can you review my website? I've gotten a little feedback from some other people too. But before I do anything, I want to move forward. And she sent me, like when for our mastermind, when we're doing things for the mastermind and reviewing stuff, Robin will set me a task. And I thought I forgot to check the one off from like the month before. And I was like, didn't I already just do this? And they're like, no, she has more changes. So I went and looked and I was like, what the heck? This is like a brand new website. It was so cool. So let's talk about, I'm sorry for that. I digress. I love this story so much because it was like, I was just like blown away. Okay, let's talk about the footer of your site. What did you do with that?
Yeah, so that had maybe 3 links on it before. It had like sign up for our newsletter, which obviously nobody signed up for there. I think it had like the shopping cart symbols and maybe one little like copyright thing. Mm-hmm. So we changed it so that we have a full menu down there with everything from my blog to press features, how to contact us, all of my order policies, frequently asked questions. I heard Lisa Fraley's terms and conditions and disclaimer. I heard her seminar or whatever, or podcast. And I was like, ooh, I need to add that. So then I added those.
She's going to be doing something with us for SOS too, for
nice.
Terms and conditions and disclaimers, which is exciting.
Yeah,
Lisa was at our live event.
Yeah, she was great. And I heard her lecture while we were doing this. So I was like, all right, we got to get that on there. But it was a nice way that, if people have questions, they can go to the footer, or I can direct them there, or they'll see it. And it has all this different information that's easily accessible and, quick links and things like that, which has helped, because when it's just a smaller thing, it's okay if you have to answer all the questions. But now that I'm getting bigger, I'm like, I can't handle all of these questions at one time. So it's a way to automate as much as I can.
Automate to elevate.
Yes,
I love it.
Exactly.
Okay. So the next thing up is your About page, because you completely revamped it and you used one of our coaches, Darian's formula. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, that was a big one for me because I was like totally dreading it. I'm like, I can talk with people all day long and they love me, but I hate writing about myself. And I had the traditional, like, I'm a jewelry designer and I went to college here and I did that and this, and it was boring. But I reconfigured it to now be a lot more personal. I followed Darian's training and a combination of Darian and yours as well.
Yeah.
To really make it more personal, more about the customer, more about like sprinkling in those little tidbits like our mission statement. That's really sounds a lot of fun because it's talking about how our city is so beautiful. And we're on a mission. And it was really good adding in links and calls to action, which has been quite helpful because people, I'm not even kidding. I have Google Analytics set up and people look at my about page the most out of anything on my site, which is great because that's what I want them to see because then they'll think about me and remember me when things come up. So.
That is a great thing to remember that your about page is the number one most visited place on your website, guys.
By far. By far. Mm-hmm.
Remember that.
Yep.
Get your about page working for you.
It's important. And one thing that Darian said in her training as well was have your like super personal in the first person, like, hey, I'm Kristen, have that kind of bio. But then at the bottom, have your little snippets about your jewelry and about yourself in third person. So when you get these press features, it's really easy for those press people to go in there and grab it and be like, all right, I got it. We can go. Because it's super important.
My favorite way to do that, I actually don't have this on my site, but it would be ideal, is when you have your like engaging about page bio, then you have a call to action, sending them to shop from you. And then underneath that, you have something that says professional bio. And it's like maybe maximum 3 paragraphs that's in the third person that someone could swipe and go. It's shorter, it's concise, it's really just a laundry list of your accomplishments as opposed to trying to engage people. I think one of the big mistakes people make is that they put that kind of bio on their about page, and that's bad for a website. It's bad for a website to have as the main thing because what you're trying to do on your website is connect with your audience,
right? Which
is really important. Great work. Okay, so let's talk about what you did with your collections and how the shopping cart was, or the shopping pages were sort of organized.
Yes. So initially I had everything split by rings, earrings, bracelets, necklaces in my top navigation, which was great until I added gold. And then it was like, I need them to be split into shop silver and shop fine, which worked really well for me, or works really well for me now because I can send people and say, hey, go check out the shop silver. And if you click on shop silver, it pulls up a little preview of rings, earrings, bracelets, necklaces. And then you can go in and, look at your different selections. Same with shop fine. So I have it in engagement ring, bands, because not everybody, my work is more alternative bridal. So you can wear these bands as engagement or wedding rings, or you can wear them as cocktail, which is great. So it kind of gives it more flexibility. And then I have sets and then just gemstone rings under the fine. So I'll be adding, my necklaces and earrings as I develop them, but it's already set up. So it's super easy. It's very clean navigation. And then one of my favorite new things is when you hover over the images on this kind of main page, you get a second view. So it's called hover on second view. And you can get a detail shot, or you can get, some people use lifestyle shots as your second view, or maybe a alternate color arrangement, which gives people options while they're sitting there, which is awesome because maybe they don't want it in blue, but they want it in purple,
Exactly. I love it.
You kind of have to think like you're the consumer and like easy, quick, seamless.
And you added something. Okay, so what'd you do with your Instagram feed and your reviews?
Yes. So the Instagram feed, I added that to my homepage as kind of a rotating
image gallery
strip. Yeah, image gallery. There you go. So people can see what I'm up to because I like to show behind the scenes, but it's not necessarily something I want to be front and center on my website, but maybe at the bottom where they can see it, it's perfect. So I added that. And then I also added the review section. So under my about page, where we talk about me, then we talk about my values of my business. Then I have reviews. So it's social proof, and I've talked with my customers and, they're like, oh, this is so great, And so I say, hey, can I have your review to put on my website, which they love. So it works out great. And then I have one for just my collections. And then I also, under my commission section, I have commission reviews. So people who have worked with one-on-one to create these one-of-a-kind kind of high price point pieces, they have really nice things to say. And that's important to show people who are potentially thinking about that. So
amazing.
Yeah. That's still a little work in progress. I'm trying to get some photos and some things like that, but we're working on that.
It's always a work in progress.
Always.
All right. So. Amazing. Okay. So you've done all these changes and you tweaked your website. So you have some exciting news that we kind of spilled the beans on earlier, but why don't you tell us like what's ended up happening since you've made all these changes in such a short period of time?
Yeah. So with all of these changes in mind, I was working my behind off with the August 1st Halstead grant deadline in mind. And I got it all finished literally like August 2nd, which was perfect. And it worked out really well because I won the Halstead grant. So
which is amazing. Congratulations on that.
Which was so exciting. Thank you. It all kind of came to fruition, which was great because then I have a nice website when different magazines are publishing about the Hofstad grant. I can say, hey, here's my website. And they all say, oh, this is awesome. Perfect. Send me your headshot. And I'm like, well, here it is. It's very easy now to have that information readily available. So it's been really exciting, a true whirlwind, I would say. This whole year has been a whirlwind.
I know. And I also know that over time, because you just this all has been just up for a couple of months.
Yes.
We're recording this in October. You kind of had this done early August.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been a work in progress. And now it's the results are starting to come in, which is great. And one of the things that I really want to acknowledge you for is number one, how quickly you got this to fruition with just a little bit of feedback from me and some other people.
Yeah.
Which I think is amazing. And then also researching what should go on your website, but also the user experience just by, taking action on what you learned and moving this forward is improved by 100-fold, in my opinion. And your pieces now look more expensive. They look like they're worth the investment because they are investment pieces. And your website is just so much more easier to navigate so that it really shines a light on your jewelry. So when people are coming to your site, it's going to be a lot easier for them to decide if they want to buy from you or not, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
you're welcome.
It's coming together, which is, it's always a work in progress though, but
always a work in progress. All right, amazing girl. So I just want to thank you so much for sharing this with us because this is just a fun journey to kind of see how you did this so quickly, sort of your journey as a designer and what's changed for you. So thanks for sharing your story with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. And I'm glad I could be here talking about something that's happened. So that's good.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Isn't Kristen just an amazing ball of energy? Oh my gosh, she's got such great energy and such a great collection. So I'm super stoked to have had her on the show today. It just goes to show you that anything is possible for you too. When Kristen came to us, she already had a great collection together, but she just couldn't see some of those little gaps that she had that were kind of holding her back from having this beautifully designed website or having a, user experience that had a strong calls to action to move her clients through the sale. And she took the feedback that we gave her and ran with it and has had amazing results, basically almost overnight. And, I love sharing stories like this because it goes to show you that this is possible for anyone, no matter where you are in business. If you are able to work with a mentor or someone who can kind of show you what's missing in your business, show you the gaps, who can help you catapult you in the right direction so that you can take action quickly and give you simple guided steps so that you can actually get to the next level. Results start to happen so quickly and the needle starts to move so fast. I've seen it in my own business and I would love to see that for you. So we still have a few spots left in our SOS Accelerator program. That's a little bit of a tongue twister, SOS Accelerator program. It's a 1-year coaching program that's designed to help you focus on your e-commerce and digital marketing strategy so that you're waking up every morning to, an inbox full of orders because we're really committed to taking you from trickles of traffic to a sold out shop every single week. So if that's something you're interested in, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the program. Every month, you're going to get a monthly, success coaching call with me that's in a group setting. I'll be there to answer questions, to give you feedback, to show you the latest and greatest in digital marketing strategy. You'll also get to choose from our team of 30 coaches to get a laser-focused coaching call every single month. So you're getting a one-on-one call with one of our coaches based on whatever it is that you need. So if you need help with copywriting, if you need help with SEO, if you need some tech help, we're there to support you. And it runs the gamut of all the types of support that you can get. Plus, you'll be able to participate in our quarterly implementation workshops, which are amazing. And you'll also get access to our Diamond Insiders community and a private Slack channel for you to mingle with all the other SOS Accelerator designers. So if this is something you're interested in, I would highly recommend that you go and apply today. Enrollment will close soon. Head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/SOS. That's flourishthriveacademy.com/SOS. Don't miss the boat. All right. Thank you so much to our sponsor, NinaDesigns.com. Make sure that you go check them out. And we're here to support you. So if you have any questions at all, about up-leveling your digital marketing strategy, or about the SOS program, feel free to hit us up. We'll get on a call with you. Head on over to support@flourishthriveacademy.com. All right, this is Tracy signing off. Take care. Till next time.